Grand Rising. Okay, I'm joking. Good morning. It's morning time where I'm at. It's 10:10 exactly. Um, it's beautiful. Grand Risings, brothers and sisters. On a more serious note, let's talk about misogyny in the fashion industry. Ah, and I know what you're thinking. People talk about that all the time. People talk about misogyny in the fashion industry all the time. Why do you think there's so many men creating women's wear? You know what I mean? We don't need to go into that. That's not something that's important. They talk about it all the time. Yes. Yes, they do. I'm talking about something a little bit different today. It's not what we would consider traditional misogyny. It's what we would consider toxic masculinity or toxic misogyny under the disguise of empowerment. hmm Just as there can be toxic toxic femininity under the disguise of feminism. We're gonna pretend I can pronounce those words correctly, okay? Um, there can be toxic masculinity disguised as healthy masculinity. Just as Andrew Tate thinks he's a great person, and we all know that he's not, because he's actually a terribly toxic person. Mm-hmm. And there is a company that I will highlight today that I think thinks they're doing something good for men, and in fact, they are not. Now, this isn't to say the company is bad. From what I have seen and researched, most people actually enjoy the products. However, it is the advertising style that is causing some concerns for me and a few other people on the internet who happen to have a life or lack thereof of a life. Hey, I'm not one to pick and choose. I think I have a life. I have to go to work later tonight. And I have a discussion post that I have to do as well because I work, I go to school, I do this on the side, and I sew. So if you don't count that as a life, then I don't know what you count your life as. Anyway, I'm trying to be like that penguin in that documentary that's blowing up the teddy tour in the mountains. I'm not depressed. I'm not, okay? So don't get that wrong. I have a goal. I have a goal. I'll go. Anyway, I cried over that penguin. Side note. I cried over that penguin. I woke up, I opened up my phone when it was like blowing up, and the first thing I see is like this penguin wandering off in the distance all by himself, and it's like, but why? And I was like, I want to be like the penguin. I want to be like the penguin. And then I got up and did homework and went to classes and then went to work. Because I have a life. Okay. On a more serious note, there's a brand that has been active in the commercial sphere, especially on YouTube, for a few years now. And it's either you love them or you hate them because of the way that it is shown and advertised and the style of advertisement. And you might have figured out what I'm talking about based off of the title because I have no idea what I'm going to title this because you might be able to guess what I'm talking about. Have you ever just opened up YouTube, pulled up your favorite commentator, and was like, "Oh, let me watch them discuss the something that's happening with somebody on TikTok that you don't keep up with because you don't have time for that because you have a life." That's you. I know it is. I know it is. You have a life. Ooh. And then all of a sudden, you get this horribly grating ad screaming at you. Are you tired of regular jackets and dressing like a child, putting on 15,000 layers? Then what you need is bearskin jackets. The real man's jackets. Created with the real man in mind. For the real man. Don't walk out wearing a puffer vest. Puffer vest is for sissies. Wear an actual jacket. Bearskin jackets. Made with the real man in mind. Only $3,000.58 before tax and shipping and handling and a warranty and maybe a lifetime subscription that will let your jacket inflate and be warmed at the same time, and taxes and fees on that as well. Have you heard of them? Sound familiar? Okay, glad I'm not the only one. So I was annoyed and I decided, since I'm annoyed with this brand, let me do a deep dive into it and let me figure out what's going on because this is strange. And you know how I said I usually don't take notes for my videos? Well, I do, but I don't like write out a script. I wrote out a script. Somewhat. I guess more scripted notes. I don't know. Let's get into it. The toxic masculinity that has built bearskin jackets or tactical hoodies, if you will, because tactical. If you're a man, it has to be tactical. It has to be tactical for you to be a man. You're a man, so it's tactical. Spare me. Some basic notes for you to know about bearskin tactical hoodies, if you will. I'm gonna call them bearskin jackets because I'm not gonna sit here and say tactical hoodies every single time. I'll probably just call them bearskin. Honestly, actually, I don't like that. That's kind of bearskin. About this video company. Okay. Anyway, the thing about this company is that they were created in 2019 by the founder, Geoffrey Harrison. Yes, his name is Geoffrey. Okay. And I think a couple of the people, but I couldn't find their names if they were, so hey. Okay. Okay. I have found out through scrolling on Reddit as a employed person does during their time off while they're working on a side quest that a lot of people are annoyed by these ads as well and find them quite grating when they come on every 15 minutes because YouTube has an ad problem. But hey, that's a video for somebody else to talk about, not me. Okay. So the original jacket that they advertise a lot, okay, but they also advertise like the 3-in-1 jacket as well. It's like the original 3-in-1, whatever. It is priced at the whopping price of $400.99 and sorry, $499.75. My bad, but it's almost always on a sale to about $169.95. So right, right. It's like that. It's like those companies that's like, you caught us right when we're having our 50% off sale. What an astonishing moment. You see this beautiful, beautiful sweater that I have for the low, low price of $4,999. You can get it for only $1,999. What a steal. That's 49% off. Disclaimer, I'm not doing math, so I don't know if that's actually 49% off. That's on 49% off. But this deal only lasts 5 more minutes. Catch it now, catch it now, catch it now. That's 49% off. 5 minutes, like today, you're getting on the website because you forgot to buy it because you have life. You have life, don't you? Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. Do you see this beautiful, lovely sweater? For the low, low price of $4,999, you can now get this sweater for 50% off. That's only $1,999. What a sale! And it will only last for 24 hours throughout this weekend, depending if our manager will let us do that because we're broke and we're begging for your money. Please buy. Please buy. That's only $1,999. please buy. There's a problem in the fashion industry. That problem is men don't feel like they are included in it a lot of the times. Unfortunately, it's because of the fashion industry. The fashion industry was built by both men and women. However, they have catered almost entirely to women and have almost left men in the dust. And unfortunately, our society has built an horrible repressing system that teaches men from a young age, thanks to horrible voices that happen to have a few microphones and some podcasting equipment that say that if you are not out here in horrible sweatpants and a sweatshirt and are berating women for a lifestyle as your lifestyle, you are not a man. So they obviously are upset when they see a man who happens to enjoy fashion, and then they will hop on their horribly ugly podcasts and be like, if you dress up, you're not a real man. If you put any outfit into your clothing, you're basically a woman. You're gay. What a scam of a man you are. And so, to combat this and to garner the attention of those alpha male, the red pill people of the internet, companies such as Bearskin Tactical Hoodies have built their brand around making sure that their buyer knows that they are a real man. They are a man. They're not dressing up like those sissies who go to coffee shops and drink coffee. No. You don't drink matcha for a living. You don't carry a tote bag. You're not performative. You're a real man. As you cheat on your wife for the fifth time and she threatens to leave you, and then you threaten her with financial ruin and taking her kids because the system will love to side with you because we live in a messed up society. But hey, at least you have a hoodie that makes you a real man. There's a problem in the fashion industry, and the problem is that men have run it and men don't feel like they are running it still. Okay. Well, let's talk about it. Because I'm already talking about it. Hoodies have been around for a long time. Okay. What we would consider a hoodie, right, has been around for a very long time. You can say, like, oh, you have like the long hoodies, but then you're like, oh, well, that kind of crosses into the tunic style. Well, I mean, it is a hood, so is it a hoodie? I don't know. That's an argument for somebody else to argue on their YouTube channel, not me today. You know, but we've had a lot hoodie for a long time. Streetwear emerged from a lot of different things, a lot of different subcultures that kind of meshed together because they were the outcasts of societies. Not really outcasts, they just did their own thing. And hey, I respect that because that's 10 out of 10. That's how you build innovation, in my opinion. But they did their own thing, and society and the fashion industry was like, oh, you're different. I don't like that, Susan. Please stay away from me. And so they decided, hey, let's make our own clothes because these brands over here don't want us to wear their clothes. So hey, okay, that's right. He's like, oh, actually, our brand is not made for black people, brown people, Hispanic, Asian, anybody who's not of a particular race. Mm. So those people went and made their own things. And then those brands were like, oh, I dare say I quite enjoy that silhouette. Let me borrow that. Let me borrow that. That's cute. Excuse me. Let me take that. Oh no, I'm sorry. I misspoke. Let me borrow that. Let me borrow that. Until they stole it. A lot of the times, you can say it's like, oh, that's not just in street fashion. That comes from a lot of different things. Okay, they appropriated it, and then And then they were like, actually, we're selling this now for $4,999, but you can get it on sale right now for $1,199, only 50% off. Ah, we are so great for the urban community. Sorry, sorry, side tangent. Anyway, bearskin tactical hoodies. They are what I have researched 100% polyester. They are made in China and they sell for an astronomical amount of money for an entirely polyester jacket. Now, they do claim that it's a specialized type of polyester that they only manufacture for their hoodies, but I find that quite unbelievable personally, considering that it is made overseas and you claim to be like a whole, like, oh, we are so patriotic, basically, because, like, okay. Mm. Okay, you don't really have that much quality control when you're shipping everything out overseas, babe. Okay. And you're not the biggest brand in the world, so a little sketchy, a little weird. Okay. But like companies like Bearskin who show up, they try to be like the subcultures. They try to be like streetwear, but on the opposite side of the fence, basically. So, here's your demonstration. Think about it this way: there's a fence down the middle. On this side, you have the creatives, like the streetwear communities, off white when it was, when it was good, and then more like that, um, mainstream like that, and then you have the well, not mainstream, but you have like okay, streetwear, like okay, you know what I'm saying. My brain's fried. Okay, thank you. And then over here you have your mainstream, like Louis Vuitton, Dior, all that, right? Over here. So you have a divide in the fashion industry. You have like underground, you have mainstream, and Bearskin wants to be both. You see the problem? Okay, you see the problem? Because their main target is going to be, and this is an assumption coming from me, so disclaimer: this does not represent everybody who has, have, or will purchase from Bearskin or the founders and creators. Continuing, they are targeting, from my observation, an outdoors or indoors outdoors white man who claims to want adventure or does want adventure or just watches the YouTube channel of a guy who actually does want adventure, but you know, um, and he advertises it a few times, and so they purchase it because that's what makes him a real man. But their main target is middle class white men, in my opinion. Act as if other brands are not selling the same thing because they don't have a zip up on the front pocket so your pins don't fall out, because that's what makes a tactical hoodie. It's not a tactical hoodie if you don't have a zipper on the arm and on the breast pocket and on the front pockets, and you don't have another pocket on the inside, and you can't turn it inside out, and it's not waterproof. But it's not waterproof, but they just claim it is. That's a tactical hoodie, and that's what real men wear. Real men wear tactical hoodies. They think that creativeness in the clothing sphere, because they have been fed this rhetoric that men's clothing is too feminine, too sissy like, too gay, that they have to combat that by making everything as hyper masculine as they can. Okay, I would like to point out this shirt that I'm wearing. The shirt that I'm wearing is a white button up. Wow, what a shocking revelation. I know. You can tell. It's a white button up. Yes, yes. I don't know if it's men's or women's. Some people can tell by the buttons, but I don't think they do that anymore with a lot of the modern things. And I literally found this buried in the back of my closet when I went home for the Christmas. And I was like, oh, I like that. It's soft. Let me take that with me back. So I did. And now I'm wearing it to work. I'm pretty sure 99% of the people who I will see at work, men and women included, okay, will not look at my shirt and be like, oh wow, that is so masculine on her. I don't know why she would wear such a thing. If a man was my size, most of most will claim that they're not. Anyway, if a man were my size and I sit around 5'5", I'm a perfectly respectable height, thank you, and wore the shirt, I'm pretty sure people would think the same thing and be like, "Oh," or wouldn't think that either because I mean it's a white button down. Some stuff, don't mind me digging my eye. Some stuff doesn't matter, but Bearskin has built their company on basically shaming men for wearing anything that is not what they consider manly enough because they want to counteract an industry that has forgotten men a lot of the times, yes, but also has kind of ignored their plight for regular clothes at times as well, right? Because a lot of the times we see a horrible, boring suit by Armani again on the runway, and men are like, well, can we get something a little bit more interesting? And then when they do get it, everybody in their third thousand who has a podcast, he jumped on their podcast and it's like, did you see that guy on the runway wearing that nice suit that had some decorations and something on it? Real men don't wear that. Real men don't wear that. So you don't wear that. And so that style doesn't sell. And so the brands continue to sell the boring black suit over and over and over and over again. And there's no growth. And when there's growth, the cycle repeats again. Now, side note on this as well, I think some of you people really need to dig into some of the Asian suit designers because let me tell you, when I tell you that down, they eat down, okay? Like a lapel suit, right? 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 Okay. Look it up. Oh, the way my skin was like crawling with joy. It was like spiders were walking under my skin. Okay, that's horrible visualization. Ugh. Anyway, they've built their brand on basically shame. On shame, even though they frame it as empowerment, it is a system, a brand built on shame, and that goes for women's wear as well. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about men because a lot of the times when people like to sit here and like, oh, let's make clothing for everybody. Let's make sure we do this. They do that, and then they cut off the man. That sounded worse than I thought. Anyway, and that's not how fashion should work. We want to talk about equality in the workplace. We want to talk about diversity in clothing and making sure that men and women and people are able to enjoy clothing. You can't just cut out a group simply because they have been in charge for so long, right? Right. That goes for everything. Everything. Okay? Everything. Okay? Use your noggin. Use your noggin because you have a life. Oh, yes, you do. Anyway, you can't just cut them out. So the fashion industry has been run by men for a long time. Yes. Can we sit here and be like, men, you are not included anymore in the fashion industry and everything that you wear on your own. And it's gonna suck anyway, so who cares? Okay. No. because you happen to sound like a certain group of people in America in the early 30s. Think about it. Doesn't that sound a little familiar? It does. What a what a scam. Right? Okay, like so many men are haters of like Timothy Chalamet, and then when he was like showing before, okay, think about it. Timothy Chalamet has been into fashion for a long time. Okay, way back in the day, before he became as big as he was making some fashion moves. Now, I remember quite distinctly there were quite a few influencers and people on the internet who were like, Timothy Chalamet, I'm not going to be surprised if he comes out as gay in a few years. Because, I mean, look at him. He dresses too well to be a straight man. He dresses too well. He's not a real man. You see how he styles his hair, has great skin, takes care of himself? He's too skinny. He doesn't have enough muscles. They say the same thing about everybody. Michael B. Jordan. That man, he's too not good looking of a man. He takes too well care of his body. His body is too well kept, too muscular. His shoulder proportions, his shirt is just too tight. You see how he cut his hair to be shorter like that? That means he's gay. No real man would dress like that. Says the 40-year-old dad bod who is on a podcast and balding. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't say it. My bad. My bad. There's a problem in the fashion industry, and it's pertaining to men. There's a problem in the fashion industry, and Bare Tactical Hoodies is a prime example of that problem. Bare Tactical Hoodies isn't the problem; it's a result of the problem. People who sit here and be like, "Oh, they need to go out of business. They need to go out of business. They're making a bad example." They're just a result of an equation, right? It's like 2 plus 2 divided by 3 is whatever, right? And your answer is Bare Tactical Hoodies. We're not sitting here being like, why are you dividing by 3 when you just should add 2 plus 2? No, we're not gonna address that. We're gonna just blame the answer, Bare Tactical Hoodies, for the fact that 2 plus 2 divided by 3 equals this. Right? It's as simple as that. Bare Tactical Hoodies is out here trying to make a profit on the misogyny, the toxic masculinity that has been created by the fashion industry. They are a company that is being rewarded by the division that has been created by the fashion industry, by those who claim to love fashion, and by those who clearly do not. There is a problem in the fashion industry. Men. Me and my sparkling water. I'm gonna be honest with you. Men. I know what you're thinking. Oh, there she goes again on her man hating tangent. No. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because I want men to enjoy clothing just as much as I do. Or more. You know. You have every right to do so. But why are we rewarding this mindset? Every year, as much as I despise people who do like the horrible red pill talk and stuff, their channels get more subscribers. They don't get banned, right? And it's like, oh, well, freedom of speech. That that seems a little interesting to me personally, considering you will kick somebody off of a platform for talking about something that happened to them at the hands of man, and they are the clear victims in that. But you will not ban a man who sits there and says, well, I don't believe that women should be able to consent. There's a problem in the fashion industry. There's a problem in the industry. There's a problem. We are rewarding people, companies like Bear Tactical Hoodies, like Andrew Tate, like those horrible people who did that terrible joke on the expense of black women. There's a problem. And nobody's doing anything about it. This light in this window is literally flashbang. Go out. Oh, hey. Hey, how are you? I'm just gonna sit like this right now. Anyway, so let's finish this up. There's a problem in the fashion industry. People need to start being aware of the fact that brands are taking advantage of the discourse that they are sowing. Bare Tactical Hoodies, I've seen it. I read a Reddit that was like completely against them, and another one that was completely for them. Two totally different sides of the podium. One was like, I think they're a horrible misogynistic platform that is out here doing the worst. They are sowing discord and are making it seem as if men are not real men unless they wear this certain type of clothing. And I would agree with that. I think they're a terrible company. I think that they could do better. I think if they want to make good tactical style jackets and hoodies and things that are 3-in-1, they could. If they spent the time and put the effort into actually doing it and didn't spend all of their money on advertising to make it seem as if you're not a real man unless you're buying from me. And then I see the other side where they're like, well, actually, the jacket is not that bad. It's just like a regular jacket. I don't really mind this sweater. It doesn't even do anything. I mean, it's not like anybody's gonna be offended by that anyway. I mean, like it's just a joke. They're just a joke. All they're saying is a joke. It's not that deep. I bought this for my third cousin, and he really likes it. And he's outside all the time. For only $444, but it's on 50% off discount for only $169. What a steal. My husband, he loves this jacket. I bought it for him because I saw the commercials and I thought, oh, that resonates so much with my husband. That's exactly what I think he should get. Two different sides built on opinions of two different types of people because there's a problem in the fashion industry, and the fashion industry has decided that it wants to profit off of that problem. That sounds a little familiar, doesn't it? Like a certain group of people in the modern day. Oh, too soon. Oh, okay, let me take it back. Maybe a certain group of people in the 60s. Oh, that's surely for you as well. Okay, okay. Let me take it back somewhere. A certain group of people in the 30s. Too soon for you, definitely. Certain group of people in the 1800s. That's good enough. That's old enough. Nobody cares about the 1800s. That's not even a real time anymore. They don't put that in the history books anyway. There's a problem in the fashion industry. And the problem is that men are not being represented. They're telling lies about them. They're framing them under this banner of a real man. Or they're putting them under another banner as in, you're just gay because you like clothing. I think I have met a lot of men in my life. Be it a good thing or a bad thing, but I have met a lot of men in my life. And I would say that 90% of them are great people. It's that 10% though. It's that 10%. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you. It's that 10%. I'm not giving up my man hating ways, but at the same time, I'm not gonna sit here and watch injustice happen in an industry that I quite enjoy and quite love and I work for and under. Um, and pretend that it's not happening. Okay, because it is. It is. And I could sit here and do a whole nother video on the opposite side of the spectrum on the fact that a lot of men are running women's fashion and my thoughts on that. But another topic when I get my notes together on that and when I won't be as annoyed as I am about that. So maybe when I'm 50 and if YouTube is still up and running and we haven't all been destroyed by AI, you'll get that video. Mm-hmm. Peace and love, folks. I see you later. Have I ever told you about the one time I got a free onion? Okay. Okay. No, because let me tell you something real quick before about that 10%. Let me tell you something about that 10%. I've been minding my own business. I was literally talking to this one guy. Okay, story time. I was talking to this one guy, minding my own business, doing my thing. The next thing I know, I'm like, hey, I don't think we have that many interests. I think that we should part ways. It was really nice talking to you. If you want to be friends, we can. I know I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have said that to him. You shouldn't, friend zone him. But I'm like, I genuinely thought he was a good guy. I just didn't see anything going any further than being a friend, right? I'm like, okay, I don't want to waste your time if you want to actually find like a romantic interest. I'm just not that one for you. And then he was like, is it because I'm not black? Racist. Let me tell you what I did. I recorded that conversation, blocked him, deleted his number, and sent that recorded conversation to my friend's group chat. Yeah. It's that 10%, man. I'm telling you. When I tell you my jaw was on the ground. Ground. I was like, if you don't if you don't shut anyway. Anyway, yeah. That's it. That's it. Look at that. I started this video at 10:10. It's 10:51. We made it in good time. I thought I wouldn't be done with recording before 12. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Like and subscribe. Okay. You see that muscle? You see that muscle? No, I'm joking. I have no muscles. I have no muscles. Yeah. I'm built on hopes, prayers, medication, and sweet tea. So praise God. Okay.